Henry Algernon du Pont was an American soldier, businessman, and politician from Delaware, a member of the illustrious Du Pont family. He graduated first in his class from West Point shortly after the beginning of the American Civil War and served in the U.S. Army, earning the Medal of Honor for his actions during the Battle of Cedar Creek in October 1864. After retiring from the Army in 1875, he was president of the Wilmington and Northern Railroad Company for 20 years, until 1899. An active member of the Republican Party, he was elected by the state legislature as a U.S. Senator from Delaware, serving most of 2 terms. Early life and education. Du Pont was born July 30, 1838, at Eleutherian Mills, near Greenville, Delaware, son of Henry and Louisa Gerhard Du Pont and grandson of Eleuthère Du Pont, the founder of V.I. Du Pont Dynamos and Company and the family in the United States. He attended the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia and graduated first in his class from the United States Military Academy at West Point, New York in 1861, after the beginning of the American Civil War. Civil War and military career. Du Pont was commissioned a second lieutenant of engineers upon his graduation from West Point on May 6, 1861. Soon after, he was promoted to first lieutenant in the 5th Regiment, U.S. Artillery with date of rank of May 14, 1861. He served as a light artillery officer in the Union Army during the war, initially assigned to the defenses of Washington and New York Harbor. From July 6, 1861 to March 24, 1864, he served as regimental adjutant until he was promoted to captain. He subsequently became chief of artillery in the Army of West Virginia. Du Pont was part of General Philip Sheridan's army in the Shenandoah Valley of northern Virginia. He received the Medal of Honor for his handling of a retreat at the Battle of Cedar Creek, allowing Sheridan to win a victory in the battle. During the war, Du Pont received 2 brevets. The first was to the rank of Major, dated September 19, 1864, for gallant service in the battles of Opequon and Fisher's Hill. The second brevet was to the rank of Lieutenant Colonel, dated October 19, 1864, for distinguished service at the Battle of Cedar Creek, Virginia. After the war, Du Pont continued as a career officer until resigning on March 1, 1875. In the post-war years, he became a companion of the Military Order of the Loyal Legion of the United States, an organization for former officers of the Union Army and their descendants. Assigned to the U.S. Capitol, Du Pont was a member of the District of Columbia Commandery, assigned MOLLUS insignia number 10,418. Marriage and family. At the age of 36, Du Pont married Mary Pauline Foster in 1874. They had 2 children, Henry Francis Du Pont and Louisa Evelina Du Pont. They lived on his estate, Winterthur, near Greenville, Delaware. The family were members of Christ Episcopal Church in Christiana 100. Business career. In 1875, Du Pont returned full-time to Delaware. Within a few years, he became president and general manager of the Wilmington and Northern Railroad Company, serving from 1879 until 1899. During that time, and for the remainder of his life, he also operated an experimental farm on his estate. Since 1951, when his son established it as a museum, the estate has been operated as the Winterthur Museum and Country Estate near Greenville, Delaware. Political career. Du Pont was elected to the U.S. Senate on June 13, 1906, to fill a vacancy in the term beginning March 4, 1905. During this term, he served with the Republican majority in the 59th, 60th, and 61st U.S. Congress. In the 61st Congress, he was chairman of the Committee on Expenditures in the Military Affairs Department. He was again elected to the U.S. Senate in 1911. During this term, he served with the Republican majority in the 62nd Congress, but was in the minority in the 63rd and 64th U.S. Congress. In the 62nd Congress he was again chairman of the Committee on Expenditures in the War Department. In the 63rd Congress he was a member of the Committee on Military Affairs, and in the 64th Congress he was a member of the Committee on Transportation and Sale of Meat Products. In the first popular election of a U.S. Senator in Delaware, Du Pont lost his bid for a third full term in 1916 to Democrat Josiah Walcott, the Delaware Attorney General. In all, he served most of 2 terms from June 13, 1906 to March 4, 1917, during the administrations of U.S. Presidents Theodore Roosevelt, William H. Taft and Woodrow Wilson. Death and legacy. Henry A. Du Pont died at his home, Winterthur, and is buried in the Du Pont de Nemours Cemetery at Greenville, Delaware. His son, Henry Francis Du Pont, developed his home into the well-known Winterthur Museum. Archival materials relating to him are part of the archives owned by the museum at Greenville, near Wilmington. Medal of Honor citation. Rank and organization: Captain, 5th U.S. Artillery. Place and date: at Cedar Creek, Virginia, October 19, 1864. Entered service at Wilmington, Delaware. Birth: Eleutherian Mills, Del. Date of issue: April 2, 1898. Citation. By his distinguished gallantry, and voluntary exposure to the enemy's fire at a critical moment, when the Union line had been broken, encouraged his men to stand to their guns, checked the advance of the enemy, and brought off most of his pieces. In popular culture, Du Pont was portrayed by David Arquette in the 2014 film Field of Lost Shoes, which depicted the Battle of New Market in May 1864. Almanac. Elections are held the first Tuesday after November 1. The General Assembly chose the U.S. Senators, who took office March 4, for a 6-year term. After 1913, they were popularly elected.